All right, guys, welcome back to another New Legacy podcast. I got my man back on for round two, Wade Houston. Freaking last time we left, he was at 7,000 followers. A couple months later, popped out with an Aston Martin and 100,000+ followers. So we're gonna learn the sauce today from Wade Houston himself. Tell us, let's catch us up. What's going on in the last 10 months or so.
Man, 10 months feels like 4 years, bro.
Yeah.
I've gone through a lifetime of events in that time.
Okay, let's catch up on it.
So, okay, I mean, when you and I first ran it 10 months ago, I was just starting. I had just started my coaching business probably a couple months prior to that.
Yeah.
And things were going great from the very beginning. I think that's conducive to who I am as a person and the way that I've personally developed so many employees before, my coaching journey. And so that was very helpful. I was able to help a lot of people very quickly right away. Uh-huh. But the content creation side of things and creating a personal brand and, a lot of the, navigating along the way as you scale an offer, that shit I had never done before.
Yeah.
And it's been crazy, man. It was from my first month at 30K all the way up to, 130K a month
shit.
By myself, net.
Yeah.
By myself. Like a lot of people get it twisted, like, yo, why aren't you doing 400 or 500, $1 million a month yet? It's like, look, I ran this whole thing up by myself with one VA.
Wow.
I've been the president of a healthcare company, 10X Health, as you know, with 300 employees. I've managed lots of employees. I know how to put structures and systems into place, and it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So for as long as humanly possible, I wanted to run this thing up myself and provide as much value as possible, and I have.
Yeah.
Now I'm, bringing on a little bit more of a team, and I'll scale the offer in a couple different ways so that I have more of a robust system of people that can help. But yeah, that's where it's at from here, and to go from 30 to 130, there's obviously a lot of work that goes into it to refining systems, but ultimately it's just better content, at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like camera content. It could be like from your iPhone or, like you shot it talking to the camera.
Yeah.
Like I met Wes when he had like 130,000 followers or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And now he's like, I think like 1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's when I met him, and that was like not too long ago.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it's really
good. I mean, you can do pretty much, you can do your day-to-day stuff with an iPhone, I mean, it's nice to have professional quality stuff, and I think that'll, that puts you on the map, and it makes you look really professional and amazing, and it can help with storytelling and depiction of someone's life.
Yeah.
But most of my reels are just, me talking, me being, me with an iPhone, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think like for me, working with so many like influencers and business owner or so, the secret sauce is if you have the ability to speak on camera and tell a story or not.
That's it.
Like you could have the best visual, and I'm telling you this from a media company. You have the best visual, and like your story doesn't click. You can't, really pour your heart out on video or on your content. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. People see through it. Like, they could feel it. They could feel it.
There's so many copy-paste people online now. There's so many, people that are trying to be something that they aren't, that are not as real and genuine and authentic. And that's what I teach.
Yeah.
Like my whole helping people get online and create their personal brand and creating a, coaching offer. It's all about how to deliver your message. So when someone signs up for my program, I actually have them write down every problem they've ever overcome in their life. No problem being too small, from issues with their family to drug addiction to being out of shape to mindset or confidence issues. And we write down every single thing on a whiteboard. And then I have them start to look at the areas in their life in which they've solved the most problems, mind, body, spirit, business, money, relationships. And then we start to develop content pillars from there. But I don't want anyone creating content by saying, you should do this, and giving advice to people when they have 300-400 followers and they haven't built a personal brand.
Yeah.
So what I really help people do is tell their story in a raw, genuine, authentic way. And I make them practice their story to a camera over and over and over again. Most of them are not initially dynamic with their hand and body language, nor their tone, pace, and pause. And so what I have them do is anytime they have an emotion, anytime they're pissed, anytime someone cuts them off in traffic, I tell them, get on your phone and solve the issue with the emotion you're having in real time. And so if you're pissed, yell at your phone. Talk like about what just happened and let the emotion out. If you're sad, reflect and give that emotion. If you're ecstatic, show it. If you're so fucking happy you're dancing in your car, show it. And once they start to record these videos over and over, they start to become more dynamic naturally on camera. And this is how I get people to tell their story in a real, genuine, authentic way with emotion so that people can see who they really are. And that's been for me what the skill set I've developed, and now that I can give best to other people.
Yeah. If you had to like give me three of the biggest lessons, you learned from scaling from like 7,000 follower to 100,000 follower, like what's the three biggest thing you can like take away?
Well, the one thing that I'll say is number of followers doesn't always equate to more revenue, right? It depends on the content that you're creating. And I think a lot of times people are looking to go viral for certain pieces of content that will get them more followers.
Yeah.
More followers does not mean more money all the time. Creating content in a way that provides so much value that you're getting the right followers will help move them down the funnel in your offer. Now, moreover, I'll say, I create a lot of content that quote unquote flops, that doesn't go anywhere, that might not make it to the Explore feed, that isn't viral.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is getting engagement with my current audience and providing enough value to them to move them down the funnel to get them to reach out to me. And so there's a balance between creating viral content and value add content, but also moving people down the funnel with some of the content that I'm creating, right? Sometimes moving people down a sales funnel with my content isn't the most viral or engaging content. I'm talking about the importance of working with a mentor or taking action immediately, or very, very simple concepts that, again, may not go viral, but help me make more money and get more people into my program. So that's probably the first thing that I learned. The second thing is that, and we learned this from Wes, right? Consistency is the most important thing of all time, and remaining true to oneself.
Yeah.
I've gone through periods of time throughout the past year where, look, I'm a human being. I've varied from my discipline at times. I've varied from what I promote as a person, and I found out the hard way by dating this girl who, had OnlyFans, that really diminished, like I lost 3,000 followers after posting with her.
Wow.
Yeah, and I promote God a lot, right? Because I believe in God and I have a relationship with God, and that's helped me. And so many people were messaging me and reaching out to me and saying, bro, this is not on God. This is not, on point with your message and what you're doing. And I had to take a step back and be like, hey, you know what? It's not. Like, yes, this girl was trying to change her life and be focused on fitness and nutrition and so forth, but it just wasn't aligned with my brand. And so I had to let that go. So being really selective and careful about who you are as a person, I think that would be the second lesson. And then the third lesson is this: look, above all, put the content out. Yeah. Whether you think it's stupid, whether you think it's amazing, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, do not sit on content for fear of how many likes it'll get, for how much engagement it'll get. Put the shit out. More content, more results. I know that to talk about, quality content. Yes, we obviously want to make content that is aligned with our brand and that provides quality, output to other people, but just get the content out. Sometimes the silliest little things can go and really help accelerate your brand. So those are probably the three biggest things.
And, you got your dream car too. When I saw that, I was like,
pretty dope, huh?
Yeah. No, you talked about it. And I think when we shot the Halo the first time, you were like, oh man, I feel like my Porsche is not good enough. I'm like, no, it's good enough. Like, but I knew like within like short amount of time, like, from just, like going through your story and talking to you last time, I was like, this guy is like pure genuine. He just like tells you crazy shit,
Yeah.
And that's how I was like, damn, I see, like, it's like, it's just like, it was foreshadowed really good.
I always wished that more people were more open about their lives. And I didn't know what coaching was before I met Wes. But when you watch Wes, he shows everything, like you really know who he is, his opinions, what he does on a daily basis, his selection of girls, how he thinks about his family, his cars, what he does at the gym, how he treats other people. And people could talk shit all they want, but that dude fucking saved my life. Like, I was operating at a pretty high level before I met him. I was the president of an 8-figure per year company, a healthcare company in 10X, but he just brought me to the next level. And I really appreciated how transparent he was with his message. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see how somebody operates at the next level. And so few people are willing to really show their vulnerability, their failures, their mindset, when they're down, when they're up, their wins. Like, they're just afraid to show it. And so he helped me open up as a person and be vulnerable online and just be transparent and show all of this.
Yeah.
But it's the only way for people who are looking to really grow to have an example of what to do and how to do it when somebody's truly transparent. So I'm just being who I always wanted
Yeah.
somebody else to be for me, right? That's really it.
Yeah. And how is like your friends and family like, seeing you now? Because obviously now it's like a different aura. You're at different levels.
Yeah, it's crazy. When I first started, I think my dad was a little bit hesitant. My mom was my biggest supporter. A lot of my family members like, fuck this, like, what are you doing? Why are you
Yeah.
doing this? A lot of my, friends back at the time, or at least peers, were like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
A lot of them have gotten tremendous value from what I've done, and I've had family members and friends and peers reach out to me and be like, hey, I haven't told you this, or maybe I don't like or support your content, but you've drastically changed my life. And dude, I've gotten so many messages over the past year. I mean, I wake up to literally between 10 and 20 messages every single day from people around the world telling me, hey, this story, this message, this transparency has changed my life, or my mother's, or my son's, or it's helped me get sober, or whatever. Just these amazing, amazing messages, which feels so good. And someone asked me on a story the other day, what's my favorite accomplishment since getting online? What's like the best thing? Mm-hmm. And going along with what you're saying, it's really this feeling that I have with my family today. I was sitting on a bench at my sister's wedding reception in Colorado. I was sitting there with my mom and my dad. And my dad was just talking about how much my content had shaped his mindset. And now he's on a program, and he's tracking his macros, and he's getting in shape, and he's getting healthier. And I put my mom on a program and habits and discipline and book recommendations for a while, and her life has changed, and their relationship has improved, and I've become their business mentor. And then my sister started making these changes, and her fiance, now my brother-in-law, talks about how these things have made a change in his life. And so to see this and feel this has just been amazing. And for my parents to visit me here and to be with me and to have people come up to me in public and tell me, hey, your message has changed my life in front of them, that's one of the greatest feelings ever. Because my parents used to get approached by other people to tell them how much of a fuck up I was.
Oh, damn.
Bro, imagine this. When I was 21 years old, I had a hit out on my life. Mm-hmm. I had one hit, fucked up this kid at a party, and after I dropped him, someone stole, I think he had like $5K, and he was a drug dealer. I think he had like $5K and a bunch of drugs, and they jacked everything, and him and his friends thought I jacked him.
Yeah.
Okay, so they put a hit out on me. I ended up leaving and going to New York for the summer. My parents pull up in their little boat. They had this little 20-foot boat. They pull up to this dock in Burlington, Vermont, where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And the dockhand ties them up, and he says to them, hey, are you Wade Houston's parents? And they said, yeah, we are. How do you know Wade? And he said, I used to play hockey with Wade. But you guys should know he's lucky to be alive. There's people that want to kill him right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and dude, so I just remember like those types of messages were being given to my parents, and the cops would call and throw out, my 3 DUIs and assault charges and getting kicked out of school and crashing cars and throwing parties and being a complete fuck up and going to rehab, and all the phone calls and messages that they would get my whole life were negative, always. My dad used to tell me he was so worried every single day that he was going to get another phone call that I fucked something up, that I killed somebody, and that eventually I was going to die. And I wasn't far off. But today, for them to have people in public, we were in the fucking Brickell City Center, and some girl stopped me in the escalator and said, hey, I just wanted you to know I follow you on Instagram. You've changed my mind. You've changed my life. I appreciate you, right in front of my parents. And so for this to happen time and time again throughout the past year, it's just been a blessing. I feel amazing today that I have a positive impact on the world instead of taking.
I've worked with so many like coaches, like all the beginners coaches and who are stepping into coaching, and to see you like succeed, like, within a couple months, like, it's like so cool. Like, it's like, I have a lot of coaches I work with, and a lot of them gave up,
Yeah.
And it's the constant grind at making content, sharing your story, coming up with new ideas every day. Like, what is your one tip that will, help someone like not give up when like they're going through hard times? Everyone's going through a lot of hard times right now.
So sharing the hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so the difference is that during the hard times, I would make content about the mindset shift that I was going through. Mm-hmm. So when you see me make a reel, and the reel says, things are going to happen on God's time, not on your time, If you put forward the effort and results, if you put forward the effort, you can't worry about the results. You just have to keep going until God blesses you with a certain time. But along the way, you're learning.
Yeah.
I make this real because in real time, I am struggling with God's will for my life. And I want to squeeze the output so that I get what I want quicker. But instead of letting that bury me, I make content about a subject that I myself need to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm solving my own problems in my content in real time, right? Like I come back from my trip from Colombia and I felt isolated. I felt alone. I felt confused. I felt slightly disconnected from God. I was off. And I come back and all I can think is, as long as I put forth more effort and more discipline and do more work and help more people, I'm just going to create content around what I'm going through now and solving my own problems. And so people give up because they have problems when you should dig in and show people that you can overcome these problems, and that makes even better content. This is how you really grow a brand. I don't look at other people's success and say, oh wow, when they got the car, that's the most motivating time. I look and I say, wow, when an article came out about them slandering them, or when somebody puts some shady shit online, or when their girl gets shown for being this or that, how they overcome that, that is the most motivating shit. And so I like to show my problems in real time, and when people see that, they know I'm a real human being.
Yeah. That's cool, because people see the shiny stuff like the car, the watches, the house, or so they attach to that. But what you're saying is like, for those that are really like in the game, you're not looking at that.
No.
You're looking at the moment when shit's not going wrong. Is that person gonna pull through? So that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, ultimately, the material possessions that someone acquires will show slightly how successful they've been in business, right? And that shit is motivating for sure.
Yeah.
But what about the other areas of life? If there's 5 pillars in life, mind, body, spirit, money, and relationships, money's just one.
Yeah.
So how is someone's mind when they're going through the shit? How is their body? Are they still working out and taking care of themselves and eating proper every day? Are they spiritually on a plane? Are they treating other people properly? Do they have a relationship with God? Are they, do they have equanimity? Are they regulating their emotions properly? And then their relationships with other people. Even if a relationship with a significant other doesn't work out, are they keeping their relationships with their friends and their family? Or are they isolating? And if they're keeping all these other areas intact, fuck, that's somebody that I want to be like, you know?
Yeah.
That's a real human being that solves their problems, not just monetarily.
Yeah. And like, how do you deal with like uncertainty? Like, especially like nowadays, things change real fast.
Real fast.
Like, you get one reel to go viral and like your business will boom. Or like you can have, a shout out from somebody, your business will boom, right? It's just like, there's a lot of uncertainty on that side. But what if you're in like the trenches? You're just trying to like survive, like, for like a lot of businesses this holiday season, it's tough for them. Like what are your tips for them to make through that hard passage?
Yeah, I mean, understanding that the hard times are creating the person in the future that will be able to handle more hard times and consistently level up. So even if you're not getting the results that you want at that time, that's okay. As long as your output and your actions, you're doing everything possible to eventually achieve those results, don't worry about the results. Focus on, hey, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger during this time. If you focus all the time on, am I creating skill sets for myself? Am I creating a good mindset? Am I becoming more valuable? And am I doing everything in my power to make more money and provide more value? Then in the right time, it'll happen. But don't give up before the miracle happens. Look, I've been in this position before as well. There's times throughout the journey where I'll have 20, 30, even once in a while a 40K day, and then I won't make money for a week. Right? And so I know that there's going to be these lulls, there's going to be these times. But if I can look at myself and say, have I done every single thing in my power today to provide value, to get better myself, and to help others, I know that the results will come on God's time.
Damn. I think that's like the biggest nugget I picked up on this podcast so far. Because, a lot of time I'm trying to grow my business, trying to do all this other stuff. And, I got my run across America. That was like a dream of mine.
Congrats.
I didn't even train for it much, but I freaking, I just YOLO'd it.
I love that. And how'd it go?
It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done.
How do your knees feel?
Now it's good. And I'm still having some pain walking on like flat area, but it's a lot better now. And literally the last day I ran like 58 miles.
Whoa.
Yeah, the last 2 months I ran about 30 miles a day.
Holy shit.
And then the beginning I was doing like 15 to 20 miles a day. It took me
Damn.
like 5.5 months.
Wow.
But the crazy thing is like, you're like, why is the back half 30 miles a day? It's because like if I didn't do 30 miles a day, I would have run out of money. And I'll be stranded in the, like, whatever, close on the East Coast.
Wow, your ass was on fire.
My ass was on fire.
Literally.
Yeah. Literally had some payment processing issues, and the money that was supposed to go towards the trip didn't go to the trip, you know? So I had to, like, make new revenue on the trip, sending these, like, my content team out to do content while we're on the fucking mission.
Crazy.
But I donated over 200,000 meals to
Damn.
families who are in need.
Damn.
And
Congrats, bro.
thank you. And what is it? I was on CBS for a little bit.
Wow.
And then they sent NYPD out for the last day and escorted us to New York.
Wow.
And then my friend stole one of the American flag from the Navy base.
Oh.
And then he brought it so I could like carry it.
That's dope.
Yeah, but it was surreal. It was surreal.
Hell yeah.
Like I was so drained the next day.
Dude, I could only imagine. That's
Yeah.
insane, bro. What an undertaking.
Yeah, but I was like, that's God's plan on my list. I have to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Congrats.
But you were like, you know, hitting me up along the way, like, yo, keep going, you know, like, fucking, yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But I have your name on the back of the RV.
I love that.
Yeah. Like you, Wes, and everyone that we did a deal with that funded that project. Yeah.
Glad to be part of it, dude. That's amazing.
But yeah, man, like freaking, I don't know. Like I'm excited every time I see your content. I was like, damn, he made it. He made it. He's so close to 1 million followers that you don't even know it, because I could see, like, it's like you're gonna, you know.
Totally.
And
I just think about it day by day. You know, I just think like, hey, am I providing value to other people day by day?
Yeah, and freaking, you know, they're gonna need you, because it's a lot of hard times coming up. And the upcoming year, what's your biggest thing? What's the biggest thing you got planned?
I relaunched my group offer to be able to help as many people as possible with mindset, fitness, nutrition, health. And so I want to get as many people as humanly possible into that program. I want to have a larger impact on more people, you know, one-on-one. I work with a lot of people as a business consultant and professionally helping them grow their brands online. And I work with, you know, a lot of higher level people one-on-one. But I really want to make sure that I have a massive as an impact as possible. So getting, you know, spreading my group offer and getting on YouTube. You know, I put out a couple of YouTubes at this point.
Oh,
but
I gotta subscribe.
it's time to make more long form YouTube content. So that's the next thing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like YouTube is where like you really get to show off your personality.
Exactly. I mean, I can drop so much sauce, you know, from overcoming autoimmune disorders and drug addiction, and then the spirituality and mindset that went along with that,
Yeah.
to, you know, fitness, physique, nutrition, and becoming a healthier, you know, human specimen.
Yeah.
To, you know, developing spirituality with God, and then becoming president of 10X Health and scaling companies from, you know, 9 million to 50 million, and acquiring companies and working with mentors. And so, you know, I have a pretty vast array of skill sets that I'd like to be able to dive deep into, and I'm about to start doing that.
Yeah. And, you know, before we go, like, what are some relationship, you know, advice like that you got? Because you're like, I think we were here last time, and it's Jared or Louie. They're like, damn, Wade got hella matches. What the hell's going on? So I actually was going to, like, create a profile on Tinder using your picture, which, you know, we took. And I was like, get a bunch of matches, and I'll switch it to mine, you know?
I mean, I think having confidence is really important. You know, and one of the things that I think too is, look, having confidence is not always in the way that you look. You can develop confidence by keeping promises that you make to yourself. So if you say, hey, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z tomorrow, here's my daily non-negotiables, and you never miss, you'll build confidence regardless of how you look. Right? And I think also, if one of your non-negotiables is going to the gym and eating healthy every day, naturally you're going to get in better shape, and you're also going to get more confidence that way. So, I mean, having confidence is key. But I think learning from somebody and watching and observing how they interact with women or people in general is imperative. I was just in Medellin, Colombia with one of my clients, a couple of my clients.
Yeah.
And one of them, Ibrahim, says to me, bro, being with you for the past 5, 6, 7 days, or whatever we were, and watching you interact with people is unbelievable. Like, I've learned so much just from the way that you approach social situations. And specifically when it comes to girls, I don't ever go into a situation thinking like, I need to get her Instagram, I need to get her number. I might have that as the thought process of what I'm going to talk about, but I'm agile during the conversation. And when I approach a girl, I'm gonna say something nice and encouraging and give her a compliment on maybe an outfit or a choice that she made or something that she's doing in a very friendly way, not a I'm hitting on you way. And when I have conversations with people, and especially with girls, I'm more looking to like, hey, can I be nice, get them talk about themselves and provide some sort of value? And if the conversation goes in the right direction and I think I should get their info, I do. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not so worried about the outcome of the situation. I think that holds a lot of people back from talking to girls. Like, oh God, what if she turns me down, or what if she doesn't let me get her number? Don't fucking worry about that. Mm-hmm. Just go have a fucking conversation with her as if she's a normal person or another dude or whatever the fuck it is. And the second thing is, you just got to be yourself. I don't give a fuck if people judge me for what I say and what I do. If I say something where a girl's like, ew, that's weird or whatever, like, okay, we'll go talk to somebody else, you know? Mm-hmm. I just am who I am. And as a result, it kind of breaks down people's trust barrier, you know? And the third thing is this. Whenever you approach a female, you have to know she's nervous. She's self-conscious. You got to get her in a position where she feels more comfortable, because no man walking up to a woman is she going to be immediately comfortable. I don't give a fuck who she is or how confident she is. She's going to feel slightly uncomfortable, unsure about what's going to come next, mainly based off of past experiences, but also based off of her inadequacies and lack of self-confidence.
Wow.
So we got to bring her to be like, hey, it's all good. We got to get her laughing. We got to make her feel comfortable. And sometimes to the extent of me being a little bit oversharing and silly, to get her to realize, hey, I'm just another human being and I can open up to this guy and I don't have to feel so weird about myself.
Damn. Yeah, because a lot of time, like for guys, you know, younger guys like us, we go up to the girls and blah, blah, blah. We're just too much in our head. But you're like, she might be nervous too.
She's gonna be nervous, of course, bro. That's
crazy.
I was just at a fashion show, okay?
Yeah.
And one of the models finishes up, you know, and I'm walking outside and I see her and she's outside like drinking the water. I'm like, yo, what's up? How'd we do?
Yeah.
And she, you know, but the tone and the friendliness and the candor in the way that I speak, already this girl's like, oh man, he feels like familiar to me, right? Like I say, yo, what's good? How'd we do? And she's like, oh, I felt like a little nervous. And I was like, of course, to be expected. How could you not be nervous? I said, in fact, if you weren't nervous, we might have a problem, because that means that you don't really care about, you know, doing well on the runway, but you do care. And so that's a good thing, right? Yeah. And she's like, wow, I didn't think about that. I'm like, so what'd you do for your nervousness? Like, did you smoke a little weed, or did you meditate beforehand? And she's like, no, maybe I took a hit. I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm like, you ever meditate? And she's like, no, I haven't, but I've been wanting to. Bro, I haven't hit on this girl yet. What have I done? I just asked her how she did. I reframed the way to think about nervousness. I gave her a compliment, told her she did amazing, made her laugh, and then now we're talking about meditation. And then I dive deep into a lesson about meditation. And just as I'm about to walk away, I'm like, yo, what's your IG? Boom. See you later.
Yeah. Bam.
Right? But it's just, you gotta just fucking, it takes practice, but just be comfortable and real with them and know like they're going through some shit in their head too, you know, and just have a good time with them.
Yeah, a lot of time we get so caught up like in our situation, and we expect like, I don't know, it's just like, we just expect people to comply, right? And you have to, you know, from what I'm learning, it's like, oh, see from their point of view. You know?
Bro, this has been the most massive impact for me in my life, which is, I so rarely think about how is someone going to think about me, or how am I going to be judged, or what are they going to give me. Yeah. Right? I don't think like that anymore. In every fucking situation, whether it's with a billionaire mentor down the street, or some girl that I don't know, or a model, or somebody that I want to meet, what value can I give them? And the value might just be asking them how shit's going. What's going on lately? How's business been? How's your life? And getting them to talk about themselves, maybe asking them a question about something they didn't think of, that in itself could provide enough value to them. But I'm just trying to think, how can I bring value? I don't give a fuck how they think about me. And that reciprocation of value has been one of the reasons I've been so successful in every area of my life.
Wow, that's crazy. How do you? A lot of people, even during hard times or so, they always let go of their like non-negotiable. How do you like prevent that? How do you like make a little fine line or like a barrier to prevent people from falling down?
I have a whiteboard in my room that I used to write on, and it said, do not negotiate with your mind. And so every day I would wake up and I would see, do not negotiate with your mind, right? And so that kept me in the zone for so long.
Yeah.
I get to a point in which it feels mundane, right? Like I'm doing the same thing every day.
Yep.
Okay, and it's like, why am I doing this? And this sounds cliche, but that is the question that needs to have an answer. What is your why? Everyone talks about this. What is your why? What is your why? And I have on my board today, God wants you to help more people. And so I know when I wake up, if I slack on my habits and I don't do my daily non-negotiables, I'm helping less people, thus I'm not serving God, right? And I also have on that board, help my parents, like retire my parents, help millions of people. I have other things on the board. That's my bigger why and my bigger vision. And so as a result of having that, it's much less likely that I'm going to fall off. Mm-hmm. The second thing is having positive influences in your life, whether it's people that you follow, programs that you're involved in, or a circle of friends or mentors that can keep you on track and accountable. I think it's imperative not to lose sight of that. So having a bigger why and having a solid group and a support system, massive.
Wow. And, I'm getting a lot of like people DMing me to help them with, marketing, whatever, so content or so. But how do you deal with like people that come into your DM and they don't have any money or they're just trying to leech off of you? Like, how do you deal with those people?
Yeah. I mean, I get it all day long, right?
Yeah.
How many kids do I get from third world countries that DM me that don't have $100 and my program is $6K, I'm very matter of fact and to the point, and I think the way that I create content is so upfront that I get to solve a lot of objections before someone ever comes into my funnel, right? I'll put on my story like, hey, my program is $6K. If you don't have the money, do not DM me, right? Am I still getting some DMs of unqualified people? Sure. Mm-hmm. But when people ask me about my program, I don't get on sales calls. I send them the breakdown of the program, the price, $6K, or they can break up the payments, and split pay. And I say, which option do you want? And if they say, well, I don't have the money, or I have some more questions, or can I get some more information? I say, no worries. Mm-hmm. Keep watching my content until you're bought in on me, right? And then they go back, and then eventually one of my stories will hit them. They'll get enough value. They'll see my life. They'll see a testimonial. They'll see something where they're like, fuck, I gotta work with this guy. I need to stop worrying about being afraid of investing in myself. I need to stop projecting about what inner workings of this program are going to solve my issues and just know that's my guy. And so I tell them, look, once you're, sure that I'm your guy, let me know and let's get to work. Otherwise, don't fucking worry about the inner workings of the program. Yeah. So I have a very, very blunt sales process and I don't waste any time. If someone's like, I don't have the money, no worries. I say, put it on a credit card. Like, well, I don't have access to a credit card. I say, get one. I say, I can't get one. I say, well, when you get the money, let me know. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people just, even like as I'm climbing up the ranks too, a lot of people will surround themselves with you and they're just trying to leech off of like the connection you have or like, it's crazy. I was like, I'm like a baby, I'm growing, but there's like a lot of leeches that already came in. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how do you deal with that?
I don't really let anybody in the circle who's not providing value, who's not growing, who doesn't have an excellent mindset or doing, amazing things in business. Like, if they're not going to pay for the program, then they're not like hanging around with the homies, Unless, of course, they're providing some sort of value, like they're actually on a similar level. But I'm very, very choosy about who I spend my time with. I got a close circle of homies that are all crushing it, and it's pretty easy to see when somebody doesn't possess the same mindset, skill set, growth pattern,
It's just so crazy. Like, I don't know, the internet, yes, like there's a lot of value on YouTube, but it's unorganized information. And people just like are so entitled nowadays. I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, I'm like dealing with just a lot of like wasted DMs. I'm like, look, you can't afford it. Sorry, you know.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I mean, it's look, you become more valuable and you help more people by not wasting your time with those shitheads.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I have a responsibility to the people that do invest in my program and the people that are actually interested to not spend time with these fucking shithead losers.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have a skill set where I'm worth $3,000 per hour. And if you're worth thousands of dollars per hour, you're not going to waste your time with all these fuck stains, because that's going to limit your ability to drive massive results for the people who actually are willing to invest and pay. And so I'm extremely selective with my time because I don't want to reduce the amount of time that I can make an impact with the people who are ready to move forward.
Before we close out this podcast, I know it's a short one, short notice, and literally like I had to babysit a little bit of some expensive cars today. Like, you know, I had to watch over because like halfway through a little vlog thing we're doing, Wes has to call, so we had to wait until we finished to hand over everything, you know. But yeah, I mean, thank you for the opportunity for me to be here, interview you. And I know, like, I don't know, like next time I meet you, maybe you can be at even crazier levels.
Totally, man. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know, as long as we serve God, as long as we're making the world a better place and helping more people,
Yeah.
how can we not improve? How can we not grow?
Yeah.
Right?
It's just like, it's crazy. And if you can you drop 3 things that the audience can take away today that they could apply to themselves, whether it's, you know, fitness, mindset, or whatever you want to, you know, some of the biggest lesson that help you like cross a paradigm shift or break through a new level.
Yeah.
Drop that on them, and you know, we'll close out the podcast.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the biggest mind shifts that I made in my life that helped me become successful is I used to manifest this vision. And I would think, how am I going to get a Ferrari? How am I going to get the ocean views? How am I going to get the Playmate girl? But I wouldn't focus on who do I have to become to acquire these things that I desire. And more importantly, what is the most important skill set and mindset that I can develop in order to obtain those things? And that is what I need to focus on, because that is what will make me happy. That is what will actually create value for other people. Fuck the external material items. That's actually not the goal. The goal is, am I worth those things? Am I of value enough to other people to have these things that I desire? So focus on the skill sets and the mindsets needed and the person you need to create to get this dream vision in life that you want. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there will be a period of time in which your results have not caught up with the person that you have created. If you focus on your mind, your body, your spirit, your business, and your relationships each and every day, and you never fucking miss, there will be this period of time in which you have not made the money, your business doesn't look like you want it, you don't have the dream spouse, your mind isn't perfect, your body's not perfect, your health's not perfect. But if you keep going and never give up, you will eventually get this outcome on God's time. You have to develop this relationship with God, right? And then the third thing is you have to consistently look at your inputs. What information are you ingesting each day? What does your Instagram feed look like? What does your YouTube look like? Who are you hanging around with? Where are you going? What are you doing? What girls are you talking to? And you have to say, hey, which of these are not contributing to the goals I have set for myself? If you know your bigger vision and you know your goals and you know the action needed to get to those goals, you must scrutinize what is the bullshit that is holding me back from escape velocity, from maximum growth. You have to cut those things the fuck out. It might be hard to cut out friends or family or places or things, but that's the shit holding you back. So be selfish with your time, be selfish with your surroundings, and you'll get to the goals that you want to achieve.
Damn. All right, guys, that's it's going to be the conclusion of our podcast today. Wade, again, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And, you know, we're pushing a lot of, like, time crunch here, but we're going to definitely have Wade on another episode one of these days.
Hell yeah.
So appreciate you. Literally new levels.
Love
New
you, G.
levels, man.
Great to
I
see
love
you.
you. Like fucking. Actually, he's actually one of my male model for my the Cracking Media. If you go on the page,
Hell yeah.
you're one of the male model on there.
Let's go.
Woo! All right, guys. Peace. Thank you. And then, how can they find you? One more thing. How can they find you?
At Wade Houston on Instagram.
On Instagram.
That's the best way. Wade Houston on Instagram.
That's the best way to reach you.
Yep.
Okay.
I answer all my own DMs still to this day.
Okay. We'll put it right here somewhere. And done.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Love it, bro.
Yeah.